Welcome back, Sports Talk is McKinney fans, to an exciting week of Arkansas Razorback basketball. Last night, an incredible game between the Hogs and Ole Miss as the Razorbacks pull out a last-second win. And, Mike, I'm starting to believe that the Hogs are for real. They're 20-5 now, including 5-4 on the road. It seems like they've finally overcome the road woes that they have had under Coach Mike Anderson.
Well, Dave, they're 4-2 in the conference this year, and 2 in a row on the road. It really seems that they have sort of gotten over that hump, that psychological hump they had. They've overcome that because not only are they playing better on the road, since that Ole Miss game where they got throttled at home, that defense has really ramped it up. And at one point, before the last game, not Ole Miss, but previous to that, we had the Razorbacks had run off 7 straight quarters in which they had allowed the defense no more than 30 points in a half, and not a quarter, but a half. And so the defense has really ramped it up. The half-court defense is excellent. They are playing in-your-face ball. They're getting more pressure on their full-court defense. They are really doing well, even during those times, like the other night against Ole Miss. Bobby Portis at one point had 1 basket and 1 rebound with 6 minutes left in that ball game. Most games, that's a loss. They pulled it out. They got 14 from Beard. Qualls is draining it from the baseline. They're looking good.
Well, right now, of course, Arkansas is 20-5 this year. They've won for the 7th time in 8 games to take sole possession of second place in the league. It was a win against a very good Rebels team that is actually 17-8 now, 8-4 in the Southeast Conference. But Arkansas seems like those close games that they could not close out is now finding a way to win the close games. Of course, Michael Qualls stepped up and had a big game. He led Arkansas with 15 points. Bobby Portis, who struggled in the game scoring like you talked about, with their big man struggling, the leading scorer in the SEC, still finding a way to win games. And it seems like they've made that next step, and they've almost, barring a complete collapse this week, it looks like they punched their ticket to the NCAA and might be able to make a run if they can continue this, being able to close out these close games.
Well, they look pretty solid right now, Dave. Most of the bracketology things that you see on various websites have them anywhere from at least heading into the weekend, have them anywhere from a 6 to an 8. I think one had them at a 5. I think this knocks them up. I mean, I expect to see them ranked 20th or better in the upcoming poll. And right now, if I'm looking at them, I'm looking at a 5th-seeded team. I'm looking at a team who, like the commentators have been saying on the recent games, I think we're looking at a Sweet 16 team. I think we're looking at a Sweet 16. You hear them say it over and over again. And if they can do it, if they can win, if they can, like you said, find ways to win when Portis and Qualls are not on, that's the key. And the key is like going back to Nolan Richardson's days in 40 Minutes of Hell. Defense does not go into slumps.
And, Mike, it also seems to me at the end of the game like there's a trust factor now between the teammates. Honestly, I thought that was a position, and Coach Mike Anderson even mentioned that after the game last night. He said that was a position where either Madden would take that shot or Bobby Portis. But Madden made the extra pass. Instead of trying to force it in that tough situation, he made the pass. He had trust in his teammate, and Manuel Watkins ended up making the shot and coming through. I think that trust factor is going to make them a very dangerous team. And, the defense, following the intensity that, Nolan Richardson had, now it seems like Mike Anderson, we're starting to get more intensity on defense. And it's been, a long time. It's been 20 years since we've really had a team that is really starting to dominate the way that the Hogs are doing by winning. And, it's starting the first time in a long time. I think everyone has confidence in the coach, and a lot comes down to the coach. You mentioned Nolan Richardson. And, when we come back in a few minutes on Sports Talk is McKinley, we're actually going to talk about the Mount Rushmore of Razorback coaches. And that's not just going to be basketball coaches. That can be football coaches or anything else. So, I'm really starting to feel confident now in Mike Anderson and where the basketball program is going, Mike.
I think he has them headed in the right direction, like you say, Dave. And I would just like to take this time to say I've been an outspoken critic of Rashad Madden. And when he went into the lane and got stuck underneath the goal, I was like, oh, gosh, here we go again. But he was smart. He made the pass. He got the ball to Manny Watkins. Manny Watkins, the trust, like you were talking off, paid off. Bang, road win against a team that we have a severely difficult time beating. And so that was really nice to see. So shout out to Rashad Madden, also for scoring his 1,000th point as a Razorback and being the only Razorback to have 1,000 points, 300 rebounds, and 300 assists. So he may dribble it off his leg the next time this happens, but so far so good in the last 5 to 10 games. I really think he has amped up his game.
And going into this next week, of course, the Hogs, coming off of a great win like this, it's going to be hard to stay focused, as now they host Missouri on Wednesday. The Missouri team, not a very good team this year, but Arkansas, I really think Mike Anderson has his team keyed up. Hopefully the Hogs can keep it going, and I think, we've got Kentucky later in the year. Maybe we can pull off a win versus Kentucky.
Of course, it's going to be tough in Rupp. Always tough to beat Kentucky. A 25-0 record proves that. But if there's a team that can do it, I think the Hogs' style of play matches up well with them. It'll be fun. It'll be one of those you got nothing to lose type of ball games, and those are always a blast.
Well, at least for the first time in a long time, I feel like we're going to be able to give Kentucky, even though they're 25-0, if the Hogs show up, firing on all cylinders, we might be able to give them a run for their money for the first time in a long time.
Right.
But exciting time for the Razorbacks, and when we come back, we're getting ready to go to break. We're going to talk some more Arkansas Razorbacks, but we discussed the Mount Rushmore of the NFL earlier, the quarterback combo, coach combo. When we come back, we're going to discuss who's the Mount Rushmore of the Arkansas Razorback program. When we come back on Sports Talk is McKinley.